What is the fourth dimension? What is the fourth dimension? Where are you? Dimension of the fourthness. Fourth dimension? Google. What exactly is the fourth dimension? Can we see the fourth dimension? That is something I wish to figure out. It's time to figure it out! But really, is it possible to imagine the fourth dimension in your head without seeing it first? I know I want to. In actuality, we don't even see 3 dimensions. We think we see 3. We live in a 3-dimensional world, but we actually only see 2 dimensions, with the illusion of 3D. You see, let me explain it a little bit further. See that? That tiny speck? That is the 0th dimension, and in this dimension is an infinity of nothingness. And this is a line. If we take a bunch of those little dots and we form them into a line, there's only 2 directions, backwards and forwards. And if we take this line and we bring it downward, it becomes a plane. And in this plane there are 4 directions, up, down, backwards, and forwards. And then if we take this plane and we take it and put it beside each other, it becomes, ta-da, a cube, which is presently what we're in. That's me suntanning. So then what comes next? This is the answer that I've been trying to find. But I don't know. I've tried figuring it out a few times. You might think that the next answer would be to multiply the spaces upwards, downwards, forwards, and try to figure out a solution from there. But it's just not that simple. So what do you do? What do you do? I don't know. What do we do then? Well, I devised a little formula to see if it would work. Okay, I'm buying 3 eggs for $5. I know, what type of world do we live in? And then I'm wondering, how much would 6 eggs cost? And even though I'm not stupidly retarded, I still need a formula to figure this out. So then, I take 3 over 5 equals 6 over x. 3 eggs, that equals $5, equals 6 eggs, that equal how many dollars? So, blah blah blah, through time, I did some special math that I learned in 5th grade, and then, ta-da, x equals 10. So 6 eggs equal $10. I'm so smart! Then using this formula, I figure I could figure out the 4th dimension finally by adding into the formula different things, like the 2nd dimension sees the first dimension this way, so then the 3rd dimension sees the 2nd dimension this way, and it should work out. And if that works out, then I can put 3 over the 2nd dimension equals 4 over the question mark. So how would the 4th dimension see the 3rd dimension? And how would we see ourselves as we truly are? So now, I'm going to try to explain to you how the 2nd dimension person sees his world. So the 2nd dimension only exists like this. And for the sake of avoiding cliches, I'm not going to call him a square. So this guy can only see backwards, forwards, up, and down, but he can't see left and right, hence the red markering. So in his point of view, this line is all that he can see. It's a sad little world, actually, to only see a line. But to us, we can see something more like this, like a picture. That's me tanning again. And so we can only see 2 dimensions. So then, if we take all that information on how the two-dimensional person sees his world and how the three-dimensional person sees his world, then we can finally figure out how the fourth-dimensional person sees his world, and then we can be enlightened. But alas, there is one thing called
True creativity.
which also in theory cannot exist. You can't be born without parents, and neither can ideas. So then where do I go from there? Because I've just spent all this time just trying to figure out what the fourth dimension looks like. And unless some supernatural being comes down from the fourth dimension, swoops me up and shows me, then how will I ever know? Did you see the desperation in my face? Did you see that? Did you see that? Well, maybe when I die, I'll go to the fourth dimension, and well, if I'm good. If I'm bad, I'll go to hell, into the second dimension. And if I'm really bad, I'll go to the first dimension. And if I'm really bad, the 0th dimensional hell. Like angels. Which also in theory cannot exist.